speaker. Ashanti Witherspoon was reared in the city of Chicago. At a young age, he got on the wrong side of the law and years later found himself serving a 75-year sentence in Louisiana State Penitentiary. While there, he worked tirelessly in educational programs and organizations made available in the prison, including CPR instruction, Vets Incarcerated, and the American Heart Association. He became a journalist, lawyer, teacher, leader, and motivator, but his greatest love was motivational speakers. It was that desire that led him to Toastmasters. Toastmasters helped him hone in on his skills so much that he was allowed by the prison administration to travel extensively throughout the state, speaking in schools, community centers, colleges, businesses, churches, and conferences. He became an ambassador, a living example that men can change if they have the determination to do so. He was featured in the Academy Award nominated documentary, The Farm, Life Inside Angola Prison, and was released from prison in 1999. Today, he is a motivational speaker, sits on the board of directors of the Innocence Project of New Orleans, the Louisiana Summit, and the Louisiana Coalition for Reform. He is the founder of Joshua Productions, his video production company, where he has been working on producing 2 documentaries, Dancing for God, The Susan Martin Story, and Innocent Men, Innocent Women, Louisiana Stories. He is a former radio and television talk show host. He is currently working on his autobiography and also heads the media production department at Miracle Place Church. He is immediate past president of Downtown Toastmasters, the VP of Public Relations for Miracle Place Toastmasters, and the current Division A Area 3 Governor. Please join me in welcoming keynote speaker Ashanti Witherspoon.
Thank you, Heather. How is everybody doing today?
Great.
No, that was dry. You all who know me know the drill. How is everybody doing today?
Great.
That sounds fantastic, but that wasn't everybody. Powerful from this side. You all must not be from the Baton Rouge area. Let's try this one more time. Let me hear it from over here. How's everybody doing this morning?
Great.
There you go. That's fantastic. My name is Ashanti Witherspoon. You've heard a lot about, every person who came up here and said something, mentioned something about the devastation of Hurricane Katrina. We have all felt that impact. It has impacted us whether we were trapped in the storm, whether we made it out just ahead of the storm, or whether we weren't affected by anything but the rain and winds because we were away from the storm, but we were affected because the lives of other people were hurt, were damaged, were destroyed. Livelihoods disappeared. People have had to totally rearrange and change their lives, and some people are still psychologically and emotionally going through the changes of trying to put things back together. One of the greatest things that Toastmasters has been able to do is to be able to continue to reach out and touch the lives of people who have been damaged in some sort of way. Sometimes we have done it directly as Toastmasters. Other times we have done it through ministries. Other times we have done it through our businesses or through our professions or through our jobs. But we have done it in one form or another in trying to reach other people's lives because we are communicators. We are taught and trained to speak. We are taught and trained to lead. We are taught and trained to organize. And I just want to applaud everybody who's been involved in these efforts in one form or another. Some of us have worked with the juveniles. Some of the people who are in this room have worked with the children of evacuees, children who have actually lost parents in the storm. Some of us in this room have actually worked with families as a whole. Some of us in this room have actually reunited families together. But in one form or another, we have all been a part of a building process to put people's lives back together and to let people know that once you fall, you do not stay down, you rise again. Because this is what life is all about. Facing tragedies, facing hardships, facing challenges, and putting the pieces back together and then rising to be the best that we can be. God has a destiny for every man, woman, and child who is alive. We as motivators, we as Toastmasters have pretty much found our destiny. We found our key in life. We found what makes us happy, what makes us come alive. But there are a lot of people all over the world, not just from Louisiana, not just from southern Texas, not just from southern Mississippi, the people who were hit and devastated by Hurricanes Katrina and Rita, but all over the world. There are people who don't understand the direction that their lives are supposed to go. That is the part that we play as Toastmasters. That is the part that we play as men and women. That is the part that we play as human beings. I believe that nothing can stop me from accomplishing the goal and the purpose that God has for my life. A lot of times we might run into challenges that might affect us financially, that might affect us emotionally, that might affect our families. It might seem like it throws us off track. But if each one of us knows what is our God-given destiny, there isn't anything that can stop us. We just have to work on developing the belief and the faith that there is a destiny that is written. All we have to do is walk in it. This is a message we give to those who are affected by Hurricane Katrina. This is the message we give to those who might be downtrodden and hurt, wandering in the street. This is the message we even give to those people who have achieved success in life, but still might not really realize what their purpose is. Now that might sound strange to us. Here's a person who's successful. Here's a person who has a nice home. Here's a person who has a nice family. But do you know within those circles, there are people who still don't realize what their destiny is? They still don't realize what God has done in their life and what God wants to do in their life. I met a man last year. It was so interesting about this man. He was involved in network marketing. He'd been involved in network marketing most of his life, and most of the companies that he was involved in, he had been very successful. He had risen to a certain level, and he retired something like about 5 or 6 times in his life. But every time he retired, he traveled a little while, and then there was this burning desire in him to reach out and do something else. And so he would start over again. And the interesting thing about this man, he would give away just about everything that he had and he earned. He would donate it to charities and other organizations and ministries, and he would start over. He said because that would give him this burning desire to realize, well, I don't have anything anymore, so now I've got to start over. I've got to build. I've got to start from the bottom and go up. And each time he became successful. When he talked in December and I heard and I asked him, I said, well, why do you want to start over? You've got to. He said, I want to give it all away. He was 67 years old. He said, so what I'm doing right now, I'm starting my life again from day one, moving forward with that same zeal, that same determination, that same miniature amount of fear that anybody who doesn't have anything and feels like they're about to be crushed from the world, and I'll utilize that, I'll grab that, and I'll hold on to that, and I'll use that to push me to the point where I want to be. I said, well, what's going to happen after you reach that point again? He said, I'll probably retire and start over again. I found that interesting because having served as much time as I did in prison, I was released. I went in prison when I was 22 years old. I was released when I was 50 years old. So I had to start life all over again. I didn't have a retirement plan. I didn't have Social Security benefits. I didn't have health benefits. I didn't have medical benefits, but I had to start over. There was a certain amount of fear, but there was a burning desire to achieve, to succeed. And I knew one of the areas that would help me maintain the foundation, aside from my belief in God and the church, was Toastmasters. And I became heavily involved in that, and I continued to speak because that's one of my first loves. Motivating people, inspiring people to be the best that they can be. And it's continuing to push me every day of my life to do that and help people to do the same. Yes, I started over, just like a lot of us in this room had to start over. Those who were devastated by the storm have had to start over. But the point is, we are Toastmasters. Some people say, you know, you might go down the street or walk into this hotel and might ask somebody, hey, you familiar with Toastmasters? They'll say, no, what is Toastmasters? And when you spell it, after you explain it, after a while you see a little gleam come in their eyes, speaking. Oh, I can't speak before an audience. But then you talk a little bit more, and you say, yeah. And you ask them and you know, sometimes they sit up and talk about, well, how do I prepare a speech? How do I put anything together that will help me to communicate with others? And like I was talking with one person, matter of fact, it was a lady last night. I say basic speech is an opening, a body, and a conclusion. I say, and in the midst of all of that, you put together your speech. They say, well, that takes too much training. I say, no. A speech is simple. When you meet a person, you say, How you doing? My name is Ashanti Witherspoon. What's your name? Heather Doucette. I am from Baton Rouge. Where are you from? Alexandria. Well, it was good to meet you. Here's my card, and I hope to see you later. Opening, body, and a conclusion. The young lady said, if you all are here tomorrow night, I want to see if I can get off and come down there and see what your meeting is about. In just that moment, something new was created in her life. A world that she didn't have know anything about. A foundation was built, and who knows, we might see a future Toastmaster. But I said all of that, and in conclusion, I just want to bring out one point. Our given destiny by God is to motivate people to be the best that they can be. We're destined to help people to rise from the ashes. We're destined to help people overcome obstacles, problems, confusion, and negativity that might be in their life or things that they might face throughout the community. And when we do that, there will be a full richness that we will feel within our heart. There will be a new determination that will allow us to see that we can make a difference in other people's lives. And when we look up one day and see somebody who we spoke to suddenly rise up and become a teacher, a leader, a minister, an organizer, a good parent, we will feel so good inside that it will allow us to know that we have done something else that God has wanted us to do. Heather.
Minutes and he'd have had me in tears.
Oh.